They say loneliness doesn't always look like a person sitting alone. Sometimes it looks like someone who never stops smiling. That's how it started, with a smile. Forced, practiced, worn like a mask, hiding the emptiness inside. A smile that never reached the eyes. A facade that concealed the silent cries for help. No one noticed that he was fading. Eliot was just a guy. No big life story, no tragic backstory, just quiet. Clock in, clock out. Microwave meals. He spent his evenings alone, staring at the clock, feeling the weight of solitude. And on January 1st, for no real reason at all, he decided to write a letter. Not an email, not a DM, a letter. You remember those? Pen, paper, postage stamp. Eliot sat quietly, the weight of his thoughts pressing down. He wrote, "Dear stranger, I hope today didn't win. That's all." Folded it, sealed it, and with a sense of purpose left it at a bus stop. The next day, he did it again. He wrote one every day. Sometimes funny, sometimes poetic. Sometimes they didn't make sense at all, just little bursts of hope. He felt a quiet joy as he left them in vending machines, tucked them into the corners of coffee shops, or slipped them between the pages of library books no one checked out anymore. Each letter was a small piece of his heart, all signed the same way, E. No one ever responded, for 364 days, and then, on day 365, there it was, a single envelope, slipped under his door, same handwriting as his own, like a mirror. Inside was just one sentence, "Dear Eliot, I've been waiting." Eliot's heart raced. His hands trembled as he held the letter. Tears welled up in his eyes. He felt a mix of relief and confusion. Finally a response, finally an answer. He thought it was a prank. But the next day, there was another letter. And the day after that, letters written to him. About things he'd written months ago. About moments he didn't think anyone had ever seen. They spoke of his childhood dreams, his secret fears, and his quiet triumphs. It was like someone had been collecting them, saving them, reading them. Then one day, they stopped. No return address, no name. Just the silence again. Eliot felt a deep sense of loss and confusion. The letters had become a lifeline, and their sudden absence left a void. But he kept all of them, every single one, in a worn, old shoebox under his bed. It was his treasure chest, filled with memories and emotions, a testament to the connections he cherished deeply. People think if no one sees your kindness, it doesn't matter. They're wrong. Because years later at his funeral, yeah, I told you this would get sad, there was only one person there who wasn't family. A girl, maybe 25, stood in the back holding a shoebox. Her eyes were red from crying, and she clutched the box as if it contained a precious memory. The sky was overcast, and rain fell gently, adding to the somber atmosphere. Inside, every letter he had written. She had found the first one when she was 15. Said she started looking for them. Said they saved her life. Each letter was a beacon of hope, guiding her through the darkest times. They reminded her she was loved and gave her the strength to keep going. And now she writes them every day. She carefully crafts each letter, pouring her heart into every word. Then she leaves them at bus stops, hoping to brighten someone's day. She signs them, E. As the sun dipped below the horizon, Eliot stood quietly, holding the letter that had changed his life. The words on the paper were simple, yet they carried a weight that had lifted his spirits and given him hope. With each step he took, Eliot felt a renewed sense of purpose. The journey had been long and arduous, but the simple letter had been a beacon of light in his darkest times. He shared his story with friends and family, and soon his tale of resilience and hope began to inspire others. The power of a simple letter had not only transformed Eliot's life, but had also touched the hearts of many. In the end, Eliot decided to pay the kindness forward. He wrote a letter of his own, hoping to bring light to someone else's life. And as the recipient read his words, a new story of hope began to unfold. Sometimes the simplest gestures can have the most profound impact. And so, Eliot's story reminds us all of the power of a simple letter. The end.